co-founder and lead analyst at TVREV. Hello, and thank you for being here.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So this is very interesting, and I think a lot of people, even myself, I'm a bit confused because I had to search, like, what exactly is Roku? Like, you know about it, but it's not the actual content streamer. But if you have a smart TV and you get access to this, you may have Roku and not realize it.
Yeah, so Roku is a television operating system, first and foremost. They do make hardware, they make dongles, they make branded TV sets, and they license the operating system. So what is a TV operating system? For a long time, TVs didn't need an operating system. It was just turn it on, and there it was.
Or rabbit ears, if you want to go back that
far.
Right,
yes, right. I always joke that my sister was the operating system. She knew how to adjust the rabbit ears. But as streaming came on, TV started to look more like a computer, right? So you needed to have an operating system or an interface to actually understand, to sort of figure out how to get to the apps, where the different programs were, and to make it easier. Now, Roku was really the first one out of the gate on that. And they did it at a time when the TV OEMs, the manufacturers, did a really bad job of doing their own operating systems. It wasn't something they had ever done before. They didn't put a lot of money behind it.
Or anticipate this would be needed.
Exactly. Yeah. And Roku did a really good job. And Roku basically was designed for an age when people went on to streaming knowing what they wanted to watch. So if you look at the Roku interface, it sort of looks like an iPhone. It's a bunch of squares, and it's easy to find things. Now, as people shifted more and more of their viewing to streaming, the TV OEMs upped their game, and Roku sort of fell back some, but then they started, instead of doing the dongles, the little things that clipped onto the TV, they started doing their own TVs. They started licensing their operating system out to other manufacturers. And in the US market, they control the majority share, or close to the majority share. It's between them and Samsung neck and neck. They have some presence in Latin America and Canada, but they have not been able to extend their footprint into Europe or other places, or Israel.
So what does exactly? That's why, I mean, I came here before Roku was a thing. When I remember getting Netflix, so they were delivering the DVDs. That was only like 15 years ago, where you ordered from New York City. So with that said, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean, Fox buying it? Is it going to affect the programming? Is it a competitive, foul?
No, it's not. So the programming is not the issue. The advertising is the issue. So the operating system is sort of the last gatekeeper, right? So we have this whole theory that the monoculture has fallen. If you look at the monoculture, it's sort of like ancient Rome. And now we're in this era that we call feudal media, where everybody's in these own little bubbles, and the bubbles are somewhat disconnected. Now, the TV OS is one of the last gatekeepers. They basically control who sees what. So when you go onto the TV, it shows, the apps are in different places. They figure that out, their recommendation engines, what they're showing you. Now, it would not be in Fox's interest to sort of tip the scale in their hands, because viewers would notice and they would just go somewhere else.
Right.
But for advertisers, it's a little bit trickier. That's the thing that people are somewhat concerned about, that Fox could give their own inventory, more premium inventory. They could share the data. The one thing that the streaming TV industry has that linear TV did not have is a lot of data, because it's all digitally delivered, but who's watching, how many people, when, where, and because it's not linear, right? We're not all watching at the same time. They know how to, who's watching when, and so they could give more of that data to Fox, and then Fox would have an advantage in selling the advertising, and nobody would really know.
About I guess Rupert Murdoch, created what he did for a reason. So It's really about the advertising.
Yes.
At the end of the day, but what does that look like to those of us that are just watching, I'm going on and watching whatever, streaming or a TV show or even YouTube or whatnot? How does the advertising kick in based on that?
You wouldn't notice it. It's just that Fox would get more of the premium advertising. They would be able to charge more money. They'd get more big advertisers coming on. It'd be very subtle if it happened.
Because we're streaming, we're not getting commercials.
You get there's a half of streaming, more than half of streaming is actually ad-supported now. There's a thing called FAST, which I happen to come up with the name for, free ad-supported streaming television. It's a huge thing. With the Roku owns something called the Roku Channel. It's one of the biggest FAST services in the U.S., and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's free, but it's ad-supported. It has a much lower ad load than traditional TV, but there still are ads on it.
All right, so is this, at the end of the day, good or bad? Is it too much of is it a monopoly thing?
No, I think it's neutral. I mean, and it really depends how it plays out. Like Fox could not do this, and it's fine. There's really it's a smart move for Fox because they are sort of realizing, okay, we can't rely on cable companies anymore. We have to take control of distribution rather than rely on other people. And that's something that none of the other big media companies have done.
Interesting. Very well explained, because it's very, very technical. Thank you very much, Alan Wolk, lead analyst and founder at TVREV. Thanks for that explainer. I think it's clarifying a lot of things for a lot of people.
Well, great. You're very welcome.
All right. Now let's end on World Cup, a dramatic